Welcome or welcome back to the CNC Advantage. Cooper and I are out camping, so just bear with us if there's a little bit of noise in the background. We're just waiting for our camper to be delivered. Um, so, like normal, this is a collective reading, and this is our weekly reading for May 25th all the way to June 1st. If this reading finds you at a different time, that's fine. All of my readings are timeless. So if it found you, then there is something here for you, okay? Just one more reminder. When they speak of kings and queens in the deck, Cooper, come. Cooper. No, come on. We are speaking about energy, not gender. So that's feminine or masculine energy, and all of us possess both. And we're always seeking balance between those, right? So if you like this reading, please like, share, subscribe. If you feel that it's going to benefit someone, please just pass it along and make sure that this reaches the people it needs to reach. We all got to do our part, right? Here we go. All right. We're going to start off with Monday, which is today. We have two cards that came out. We have the King of Cups, and we have Death. We have King of Cups in reverse, and we have the Death card. So what I'm getting from this is that the King of Cups tends to be of masculine energy, right? And cups are usually of loves, emotions, things like that. So, and it could be like possibly like a father figure that you have in your life, someone that you see as a mentor, a guide, and normally they give great advice, right? But in this instance, the King of Cups is in reverse. So just because their advice worked for them doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. That was their path, and it worked really, really well. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But the Divine is saying here that with the King of Reverse, or this card in reverse, that this advice may not be your path. You know what I'm saying? So it's good advice, and it works, but it's just not meant for you. You know, like, not everybody can wear the exact same pairs of shoes. Does that make them crappy shoes? No, it don't. You know, does that make them ill-willed or bad intention? No, it don't. It's just, I like this pair better, kind of thing. That's the same thing here. You have many options and you have many choices, and there's just this one piece of advice really wasn't what was at your best interest. So it's not to say that they meant to do you harm, or, you know, it's nothing like that. I'm not picking up that. But the answer for you with the Death card coming out with that is to turn down this advice. Now you're like, well, what the hell should I do, right? You know, if I'm not supposed to guide, you know, follow the path of someone who's walked this path, what should I do? That's when you take your time, you slow down, you make space in your auric field, in your energy, and you just slow down for a minute. Do your breath work, breathe in real big, hold it for 6 seconds, let it out for 9 seconds. So I try to do like the 3-6-9. Big breath in 3 seconds, big breath. Just, I'm gonna suck it right in, hold it for 6, and let it out for 9. And what this does is it helps you reconnect with yourself, with your energy, your light. And I'll do this like 3 times, and then I'll go back to breathing normal. If I don't feel better, then I do it 3 more times. Right? So it helps you feel and connect and be connected to your body instead of always trying to connect with everything else. Because that can be confusing. You're picking up different energies, and then after a while you don't even know which ones are yours anymore. And you can't hear spirit. You know, it's that disconnect. You know, when you're always looking for everything else out here, and the answers, like from your King of Cups, might be pushing this advice pretty hard. You're going to have to be like, you know, I respect the fact that this worked for you, and But I just feel that that's not in my best interest at this time. But thank you. I really appreciate you looking out for me. But I'm going to try and find another way to deal with whatever I have on my plate right now. So there's a nice way of doing it. You don't need to cut ties with your King of Cups. Don't burn the bridge or by any means, right? Okay. So we're going to move on to Tuesday. We have the Magician, and two other cards came out with this, right, that were upside down. So I left them upside down so we can find out what they are together. So what Spirit is saying here is, like, when you do your breath work, you're going to connect with all that is, nature, the energy, the auric field, who you are, and you have everything you need to do this. If you notice his hands, he's pulling energy and he's giving it back, right? He's releasing it. He's a channel. He allows it to flow through him. And if you notice, the Magician has all of the elements on his table. He has the pentacle, he has the cup, he has the sword, and he has the wand. So he can yield all four elements. And he also has the infinity symbol above his head. That means he can speak to Spirit, right? That's his connection to the ether. They're saying that you have everything you need at this moment. If you look at him, he's surrounded by a garden, this and that. He doesn't have a lot of things, but what he does have, he makes the most of it, right? And he doesn't look upset. He's not frustrated. He's in a calm, peaceful place as he moves forward, and he's just giving as much as he's receiving and just allowing it all to flow, going with the flow of things. This means, and another thing is that when you are the Magician, you can manifest anything you want. Now, what most of us do wrong is that we manifest what we want, and they're like, all right, how do I get it? How do I make it happen? The Magician is like, you know what? I want this, and I'm going to sit back. I'm going to wait for the universe to bring it to me. He's patient. He doesn't put that stress on it, but, and a lot of us are like, well, I need it now. It's that stressor that pushes it further off. Truly letting it go. Go do something else. Go for a swim. Go for a walk. Go exercise. Go play with your kids. Read a book. Go to a concert. Do something that is like, you know what? I know it's there, but I'm just going to let it be. I'm going to let things be as they are meant to be, and I'm just going to go about my day. And then see what happens. Something completely unexpected that you couldn't even fathom, right? Will just fall into your lap, and you'll just be like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? So that's one of the greatest things about manifesting. Another thing about manifesting is, while you're asking for it, feel the emotions that would come with it as if you already have it. Do you know what I'm saying? The joy you would feel, the relief, to truly feel those, So if you would cry when you would receive this new manifestation, cry. If you would drop to your knees and just thank God, do it now. Do it as you manifest. That will help make it real. That is putting out vibrations into the universe, and they will align with you. He's right here, hon. Cooper's with us. He's just kind of wandering around here, so we got to make sure that he stays. But sorry about that. So you might feel that you need to keep your eye on things, and Spirit is saying, it's okay. I got you. Do your thing, and everything's going to pan out. Now let's find out what your two mystery cards are. Maybe these are things that you don't see coming as you manifest, right? These could be the way that the surprises come in. All right. Well, Tuesday's going to be a very powerful day. There's a lot of great energy here. You have 3 major arcana. Your first one is Temperance upright, and your last one is the Star in reverse. Okay? These are some things that you may not see coming. So when you think about the Temperance card, that speaks of angels, your guardian angels, spirit coming in. It speaks to balance and peace in your life. So it's almost just like I just said there, right? If you find your inner peace, let go of the stressors, the fears, concentrate on the energy of already receiving it, and just let it go. Now just go with the flow of your day, and this could just automatically bring in more balance in your life. You can see that from one cup to the other, they're flowing water to the other one. So you're taking this cup that was not so full and you're pouring it into that one, and you're balancing things out. You're getting rid of the fear and this and that. You feel, if you notice, one foot's in the water and one foot's out. You're a little uncertain of this right now, but what else is faith? Right? That's what faith is based on. You know, and maybe this is a test for you, testing your faith. Now, they're not asking for blind faith, because if you look around the head of this one, it's lit right up. You have intuitive gifts. You could possibly even be an earth angel pulling the Temperance card like this, right? And you not even know it. Maybe you're stepping into your angel-like duties. Okay, now this one makes more sense. They're saying to let go. When you let go of the hopelessness and this and that, that's when you can turn this card upright. But it's your worries, your fears, your doubts. That's what's holding your manifestation back. You're holding yourself back. You are your own block. No one else is doing this to you. So that's a good sign, right? And we can't control what others do. We can block it and this and that, and we can control how we respond. But in this case, if you control your mindset and your thoughts and your feelings, then you have everything coming your way that you are asking for. You've earned it. You've more than earned it. I mean, you have 3 major arcana for Tuesday, and these are all excellent cards. The Magician, you are powerful, and you have achieved a great status. You have Temperance, that's possible earth angel energy there. And the Star, you were meant to shine. This could be a great day for you if you take the time for you. Okay? Alright, we're going to move on to Wednesday. So, yeah, a lot of weird cards come up this week. This one came out upside down, and I left it upside down, so we're going to find this one out together. And it also came up with 2 other cards, but we'll get to that afterwards. Okay. We have the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is a great card to have in reverse. Now, it's a tough card to receive, but that means that you have been through the ringer. You know, people have stabbed you in the back time and time again, but, you know, you would still be in despair. You're getting over it. You're getting past it. You came out better. You passed the test. Kind of thing. You didn't lash back out. You didn't react in anger or vindictiveness or manipulating things to try and get your own way or even. You just said, you know, all right, this sucks. Let's move on. You know, I got better things to do with my day. And that's what you're doing. You're escaping all of these negative energies that no longer benefit you. Okay? Oh, nice. The 2 cards that came with this for Wednesday are the Ten of Cups upright, and you also have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay? So, nothing's always a golden trail to the end, right? It's always going to have some little things that we don't see coming. But all of your hard work and your endurance and persevering, right, is going to lead you back to possibly a brand new family or reuniting with your family, more stability in your life, right? You're going to feel more secure in who you are, in your own finances. And when you feel that inside, other people want to align with it. So it's automatically going to make you more magnetized. People are going to be like, wow, have you seen such a collective today? They just seem to be glowing and this and that. What are they doing different? I want to be a part of that, right? And you're just automatically going to start drawing people in. Now, that can be overwhelming at first, and I feel you on that. You know, for us that are used to sitting in the background and just doing our own thing, or, you know, we're the watchers, you know, to be front and center can be a little overwhelming. So, don't let it all go to your head, okay? Some people will take their newfound fame and be like, yeah, I'm top dog, da, 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 and everybody's like, oh shit, that's not what I thought it was at all, and just walk away, right? Don't focus on them. Let them come to you. Be you. Don't change what you're doing. Don't adapt to these new people coming in. If they were meant to fall away, let them fall away. If they were meant to stay and make your life better, then allow that as well. Just be, right? We are human beings, not human doings. We're not human adapters, right? Don't adapt to everyone else. Allow them to just come to you. And if you stand in your truth, right? Stand in what you are. Don't allow them to change your perspective. Well, you're not doing this right. No, that can't be right. Yes, this is how I got here. This is how I'm going to move forward. Take it or leave it. Right? So, oh wow, you got some great cards though. So for Thursday, it's a constant, we got a lot of synchronicities here. Let's just put it that way. Cards are definitely syncing up. You have the Nine of Swords in reverse. You have the Ten of Swords in reverse right here. This card is about sleepless nights, guilt, fear. Those kind of things have been driving your life like this, you know, when it's upright. You've let go of those. You've fully let go of those when you stand in your truth and be like, I like who I am. You know, I'm not perfect. Fine, I'll give you that. No big deal. I'll keep working on that. But you're not allowing it to hold you back anymore. It's not something that bogs you down and taints your energy. You've released it. Maybe you released part of it, you know, because we just had our new moon here in May at the very end. So maybe you did some moon magic, or maybe you did some walks in nature and connected with all that is. And that is a great way to release energy that you don't know how to transmute yourself anymore, or you don't know how to fully let it go. Maybe you went to Spirit and said, all right, here's my baggage. I give it to you. I don't want it anymore. I've thought about this long enough. I've prayed on it, this and that, and I can't find any other way to get rid of it. Please take it. Maybe that's what you did, you know, and that works. That works really, really well, you know, and when you're honest about it, you know, he can sense that. He knows your heart. He knows your intentions. Now, one more card came out with this one. It came out upside down, so I left it that way. We're going to find out together what it was. You have the Knight of Pentacles. This is the slowest moving deck, or knight in the deck, right? It's like that garden that you're growing. You planted all your seeds and nothing's popping up yet. Spirit is saying, don't dig it up. Just trust that it's growing. The pentacle moves that slow. It's moving, but you just can't see everything, all the working pieces that are in motion right now. So that could be the universe, that could be spirit, that could be your soul tribe in the 5D. It could be people in the 3D that you don't even know exist that have been watching you going, you know what? I think I want to help. And just, watch how God helps you in that way. I had a fella the other day stop by and he was like, you know what? I'm going to give you this. And I'm like, I don't even know you. Oh, you don't have to do that. He's like, no, I'm good. Take it. And it was crazy than the fact that he came back a couple days later. Lord told me I didn't give you enough, so here's some more. I'm like, what? That's the Knight of Pentacles. That's how God does, that's how he surprises us sometimes. So when you let go of things and this anxiousness, these fears and worries and stuff like that, then it makes it even easier for him to bring in Knights of Pentacles for you. Things that you don't see coming. And it just, all of a sudden, that plant pops up and you're like, oh, it was growing the whole time. Well, no shit. All right? So, faith, patience, letting go of some negative energy, and I'm telling you, everything is going to work out just fine for you. All right? We're going to move on to Friday. This one came out hidden again and on the fence. We're going to read it that way. We have the Three of Pentacles on the fence. Okay, so the Three of Pentacles is typically like a partnership card, right? Working with other people on things and stuff like that. It tends to be with work, because it's Pentacles. It kind of relates more to your financial successes. Maybe this is something that you could use to work on going forwards. Now you have some free time because you let go of all this time of worry and stressing, and you're looking for something new to fill it with. Spirit says, why not study? Learn something new. Or, pick up that book that you've been wanting to read. Take that class that you've been wanting to take. Learn to dance. Maybe draw something. Don't know how to draw? Take a class. Maybe you're actually pretty good at it and you just got to teach your hand how to hold the pencil right, how to do this a little different. Smaller strokes, right? Just because we don't know how to do something right away doesn't mean that we'll never be able to do it, right? That's why practice makes perfect, and that is a great philosophy. A lot of people think that only applies to sports or this or that, but it really applies to every area of our life, with how we communicate with people, how we relate to people, how we can gain perspective by putting ourselves in their shoes. You learn these things over time. And sometimes having someone or a team come together, many minds are better than one. And if they're all working towards the same goal, that can be a great thing. It can create very innovative new things. So take some time for yourself on Friday and take it as it resonates, okay? I'm going to move on to Saturday. Saturday, you have the Two of Swords in reverse. So you might run into a bit of a hiccup on Saturday. You might have some delays. You might have some information that comes in that seems confusing, and you might have to make a decision and you're like, I don't know which way to go. I just don't know, right? This person in the upright, they're blindfolded and they have two swords going like this, going, I don't want to make a decision, So, yeah, you might have a small setback, or you're trying to figure out, I want to learn this new class. How do I do that? I don't really have the funds, or I don't really have this extra time. I would really have to move my schedule around. You know, you're kind of wondering, is it even worth it? You know, you're gonna feel very torn with it. You know, how do I actually make it happen? Yeah, all right, I decided I want to do it. How do I make it happen? So it's gonna cause maybe a little bit of stress in you. There are scholarships. There are people who like go to art fairs and this and that and da da da, and you can just get inspiration from other people. There's YouTube. You know, you can learn a lot of things on YouTube and in so many different ways. Um, Go on Pinterest. There's a lot of ways that you can learn how to dance on there, draw on there. You know, so it just kind of depends on what you're going for. If you're going through like a craftsman thing and stuff like that, how do I go to the Career Tech Center? Maybe ask them if they need an assistant, right? You could learn through teaching others. You know, there are many, many ways, you know, instead of just one way of doing things. So don't feel like you have no options, right? Just because you can't afford the one way you could think of right out of the gate. Okay? There's many ways to get everything done. All right, our last day is Sunday. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This could be a very trying day for you. You're going to feel like the world is not on your side, that you're not in alignment, that the Wheel of Fortune is not turning in your favor. But the thing is if you receive cards in reverse, right, it is always possible to turn it upright. So what these are doing is telling you what you need to work on to get it upright. Okay, so let's take a look. You're feeling that you run into a series of bad luck. You know, just we tried this and it was a no. We tried that and it was a no. We tried, and you just feel like it's just a million doors slammed in your face. Bam, 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 bam. You know, been there. I've been trying to get my camper up here for, I don't know, I lost track of how many freaking days now. But yeah, I feel it. It happens. You know, you can be a good person and still have bad luck. Shit happens. You know, if life was easy, then we would all just, go through it, with rainbows coming out of our ass, right? But we don't. So you feel that there's some extra external forces that are at play. If this is true, and it could be, I'm not going to say it's not. You can do many things. Do your affirmations, do your meditations, you can do your salt baths, you can play with your crystals, obsidian, black tourmaline. They are excellent for repelling negative energy. They will help absorb it and then don't let your crystal hold on to that energy. Put it in the sun and cleanse it out. When you have a full moon, put it out there, pull it back in before the sun comes back in. Let it hold that energy from the full moon. Those are great ways to cleanse your crystals. So they're going to help you, you're going to help them, and it's just a nice little flow circle. When you go for walks, you can ask for Gaia to help transmute the energy as you walk. I will transmute what I can, and I give the rest to you, and thank you. Let's see. Oh, maybe you don't want to change. Well, if there's one thing I've learned, the only thing that's constant is change. And if we choose to stop changing with the world, then the world is going to pass us by. And then we're going to be stuck where we are until we learn the lesson we have to learn. Now, if you don't look at the situation and be like, why did I go through this? Why, right? Instead going, all right, what should I learn from this? What can I take away? What's the silver lining here? Can I find the silver lining? And I bet you where you find your silver lining is wrapped tightly right around your lesson. It wasn't to suffer. It wasn't to, those are the obvious things, right? Why would they want me to suffer? Well, it's not really That's looking at it in a very basic format. And spirit is deep, right? He looks at things in a much grander, more whole, complete thing. And they're saying, you know, if you struggle here and you triumph, when I test you here, you're going to be like, oh, I remember how I got through this here. Now I'm going to apply it again here. That's what these are for. They're building blocks leading to you to a higher purpose, because life is all about ascending and keep moving forward and up if you can, you know. And that's, once you learn each lesson and you keep moving forward, your wheel will turn upright and flow more easily for you. You will go with the flow much better. But if you fight it, you're going to find things quite challenging. If you don't learn the lessons, if you don't change your perspective. Another way to change your perspective is to say there's two people in the situation. Why did they do this? You know, so start asking better questions. Maybe they charged me more because I did damage to this. Now that makes sense, right? You know, so I see why they would do that. Maybe they got real defensive because I gave them a little bit of a snide comment, and that's one of their triggers, you know. Maybe they had a karmic mother who did that to them all the time. You did that, and they just reacted. Now you understand where they were coming from. They didn't mean it towards you per se, but you found one of their triggers, one of their buttons. You pushed it a little too hard. Okay, well, next time I'll proceed with a little more compassion when I speak to them. Those are the silver linings. Those are how you find new perspective on how you could be better. Not focusing on how to fix them or change them or how to get them to do things you want them to do. It's a matter of changing how you treat people, how you interact with them. Okay? All right. Well, if you like this reading, please like, share, subscribe. It always helps out the channel if you want to spend some more time with Cooper and I. He's out camping right now, so I think I'm going to go join him and maybe put a marshmallow on the fire. All right. Well, in love and light, you guys.